3 million years ago on a riverbank, something without language, without fire, and with a brain a third the size of yours, picks up a rock. Not to throw it, not to eat with it. It strikes it, once, against another rock, at an angle that should be impossible for a creature this primitive to understand on purpose. A flake breaks off, sharp along one edge. It puts down the rock, it keeps the flake, and it walks away, holding the single object that will eventually lead to everything you're looking at right now, including whatever screen this is playing on. Before we get into how one broken rock built an entire species, hit like and subscribe. The Institute needs the numbers to keep this report funded, and frankly, so do you if you want to know how this ends. Because here's the strange part. Every other animal on this planet that uses a tool uses whatever it finds. A sea otter picks up a rock, cracks a shell, drops the rock. A crow bends a wire into a hook, then throws it away when it's done. Tool use, almost everywhere in nature, is temporary. Use it, lose it, forget it. What happened on that riverbank was different in one small, enormous way. This creature didn't find a sharp rock lying around. It made one, on purpose, before it needed it. Sites in East Africa preserve exactly this, layers packed with hundreds of these deliberately struck flakes, dated to roughly 3.3 million years ago. That's older than our own species. Older even than the point where scientists thought this behavior was supposed to be possible. Tool-making didn't start with humans. It started before human was even a category yet, in something that still looked mostly like an ape, and every branch of the family that came after simply never stopped doing it. And that one habit changed what this creature could eat, which is where things get genuinely dangerous. A sharp flake can do something bare hands and teeth can't. It can open a carcass a lion already killed and abandoned, faster than the hyenas and vultures circling the same body. We know this because the cut marks are still on the bones. Straight, clean lines, not the ragged tiers of teeth. This creature wasn't hunting most of its meat. It was showing up after the actual predators finished, cutting into what was left with a tool nothing else on the savannah had, and walking off with marrow no lion could reach. So the sharp rock wasn't just a cutting tool. It let a slow, unarmed, defenseless animal steal food from things that could kill it in 3 seconds without ever having to fight one. That alone should have been the ceiling. It wasn't. About 1 million years later, the flakes stopped being crude. We start finding tools struck from multiple sides, shaped into a symmetrical teardrop that takes real planning before the first strike even lands. Archaeologists call it a hand axe. What matters isn't the shape, it's the fact that the shape existed inside a skull before it existed in the world. A crow's hook happens to bend that way. A hand axe exists because something pictured a finished object that wasn't there yet and forced the stone to match the picture in its head. That's not tool use anymore. That's imagination, doing survival work. And once that switch flips, it doesn't stay contained to rocks for long. Sharpened points get lashed to shafts, and suddenly you can kill from a distance instead of up close. Scrapers show up, and hides get cleaned instead of rotting on the body. Awls show up, and those hides get stitched into something that actually fits. Every one of these is the same original idea, wearing a new shape. Hit the stone with intention until it becomes something it wasn't. Here's the part that actually separates this species from every other tool user on the planet, and it has nothing to do with the tools themselves. A chimpanzee that learns to crack nuts with a rock teaches it to its own kids by watching. That's it. The skill can vanish from the group in a couple of generations if the wrong thing happens. This species did something none of its rivals managed. It made the idea outlive the individual who had it. A flake struck the right way in one valley got copied, improved, and carried by hand into the next valley, and the one after that, spreading across an entire continent without the original inventor ever knowing it happened. That's the actual function of the sharp rock. Not the cutting, not the killing, the copying. It's the first idea this species ever successfully moved out of one skull and into another, at scale, across distance, across generations, without losing its shape along the way. Every structure this species has built since, every war machine, every written law, every instrument built to make sound humans like listening to, is downstream of that same copying trick, first proven true on a riverbank by something that didn't even qualify as human yet. This species didn't become dangerous the day it learned to fight. It became dangerous the day it learned to remember, together, longer than any one of them could live. A sharp rock wasn't a weapon. It was proof that an idea, shaped correctly once, could survive the person who shaped it. Everything this species has ever built since is just that same proof, repeated, at a bigger scale, for 3 million years, without a single interruption. Species, human, origin point for every piece of technology they've ever made. One broken rock on one riverbank, held by something that wasn't even human yet.